walk us through what else officials are revealing today about how this possibly could have happened. We're talking about another assassination attempt less than two months ago.
9 weeks.
What more can you tell us about the suspect who was taken into custody?
Right. I'll let Tom detail more of the suspect's history and exactly who Ryan Ruth is. But we are getting more information about how he was detained. Yesterday, after that apparent assassination attempt, once the Secret Service fired shots after spotting him near that fence line outside the golf course perimeter there with that AK rifle, at that point in time, that is when the suspect, according to law enforcement, got inside of his vehicle and began heading northbound. That is when Martin County Sheriff's Office, who just held the press conference, they say that ultimately the freeway was shut down in part due to a witness who was able to take photographs of the assailant's vehicle and able to grab photos of his license plate tags. At that point in time, they believed that he was heading northbound here from West Palm Beach. They were able to shut down the freeway, and effectively the Martin County police were able to spot his vehicle. And at that point in time, as you saw in that body cam footage, they ordered him to step away from his vehicle. The sheriff's office saying that he showed no emotion, did not question why he was being arrested there on the spot. And at that point in time, that is what led to him going through his first court appearance here this morning back here in West Palm Beach.
You know, Vaughn, now that we're talking about an alleged second assassination attempt in just 9 weeks, what changes have been made, if any, to the former president's schedule? But also on the other side of the aisle, what are Democrats saying? What is President Biden saying and Vice President Kamala Harris?
Right. We know that the Secret Service acting director was actually here this morning in West Palm Beach here. There are conversations underway, of course, with how Donald Trump, the former president, and undoubtedly how his Democratic opponent and other key figures who have Secret Service protection are able to ensure their safety moving forward. Of course, the Secret Service, and particularly that agent that fired on Ryan Ruth, clearly did their job yesterday. Yet we heard also from the Secret Service yesterday that there was a smaller footprint around the former president because he is not the current president. But also this was what they established as being an off-the-record event, one which was not publicly known, but one that Donald Trump was making a last-minute move that they were able to have a smaller footprint around. But as for Donald Trump, over the course of here this morning, he has put out social media posts saying that the rhetoric coming from the Harris campaign fueled this sort of action, saying that he is a threat to democracy. Of course, Donald Trump has used a divisive rhetoric, suggesting that Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, they are the true threats to democracy here. We have heard from Vice President Harris as well as President Biden thanking law enforcement for ensuring the security and the well-being and health of Donald Trump here. But we're now just 50 days away from Election Day. And of course, this only intensifies concerns. But as of right now, our understanding is that Donald Trump will proceed with his campaign schedule. He's going to Michigan tomorrow before heading to North Carolina later the week for campaign stops. Guys.
All right, NBC News correspondent Vaughn Hilliard. Vaughn, thank you so much.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.